I'll cover up this up. Sir? Yeah, mic stand. Fortunately, no. I'm gonna put it on. AKG.
All right, thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming out. My name is James Hayes. I'm an organizer from this city. I live on Long Street, just 2 blocks from here. I grew up in this neighborhood. I was married here. Everything in my life has happened in this neighborhood. It's so amazing to see so many people come out here tonight so we can fight for justice and our liberation. Because for the last 2 years, Black America has been on fire. And we've been rising up and fighting back against the police terrorism in our community. And this week, we were reminded once again in Birmingham, Alabama, in St. Paul, Minnesota, when we witnessed the death of 2 Black men who were gunned down by police for no reason. Alton Sterling was selling CDs. Philando Castile was in the car with his girlfriend and the mother of his 4-year-old daughter. It was like 6:30 in the morning when my wife Amelia was watching that video of Philando Castile bleeding out in his car. When I woke up, it was the first thing I saw that day. His daughter's words, saying to her mom, "I'm here with you." That broke my heart. That broke my heart. And there's nothing that anybody can say to bring these people back. All we can do is come together and grieve and support one another and get ready to take action. Get ready to take action. Because not only are people being murdered around this country, but in our own city. We've lost more than 3 people this summer to police shootings. And we have with us here people from the family of Henry Green who was gunned down by police just this summer. And we need to make this summer a summer of action. We need to continue escalating with increasing levels of sacrifice and disruption to tear this city down to its knees. Columbus is trying to grow. It is a small city that wants to be big.
Yep.
It is selling itself around the country as a place that progressives can come and be together. They say this is one Columbus. Is it really one Columbus? When you go to Linden, is it the same as it is in the short north?
Right.
When you're on Livingston, is it the same as it is in Gahanna?
No.
I grew up here. Everybody left here to go to Reynoldsburg. Why? Because it was fucked up here. And the city council has done very little except gentrify this neighborhood.
Right.
They've brought nothing to us. I think it's fitting that today we're here because 5 months ago, some of you may remember we lost a freedom fighter from our community, Marshawn McCarroll, 5 months ago today. And I think we need him here with us. So the rest of this evening is going to be a speak out. We're going to have an open mic, and we're going to invite you to come up and to share what is on your heart. What is on your soul? What do you need to get off? What do you need to get off so that you can be light, so that we can move together, so that we can take action and build strategy for the rest of the summer? But before we do that, I want to teach a song to all of us, a song that we would sing in our actions, that Marshawn would lead sometimes. I always think about Marshawn when we sing this song because 2 years ago when John Crawford III was gunned down by police in Beaver Creek, Ohio, we went to Beaver Creek and we shut Beaver Creek down multiple times. And this is the song that we sang when we marched on the courthouse in Xenia, Ohio, where the grand jury was meeting for 3 days and determined that John Crawford III's murder was justified. But I want to teach you this song today because it's a song that gives me strength, a song that makes me think about Sean, a song that I think we can learn together and give us strength as we march. I'm going to invite Keisha to come up and assist me because y'all don't want me. And so we're gonna sing a line and you're gonna repeat it back to us. That's how we're gonna teach you. We're gonna do call and response, and then after we've gone through one time, we're gonna sing it all together. Okay? So it goes like this.
I went down to the courthouse. I went down to the courthouse. I took back what they stole from me. I took back what they stole from me. And I took back my dignity. I took back my dignity. And I took back my humanity. And I took back my humanity. And it's under my feet, under my feet, under my feet. Ain't nobody gonna march all over me. Hey! It's under my feet, it's under my feet, under my feet.
Stand up, stand up. All right, now keep it going. We're gonna go now.
Went down to the courthouse and I took back what they stole from me. And I took back my dignity. And I took back my humanity. And it's under my feet, it's under my feet, it's under my feet. Ain't nobody gonna walk all over me.
We went down to St. Paul.
And I went down to the St. Paul, and I took back what they stole from me, and I took back my dignity, and I took back my humanity. And it's under my feet, it's under my feet, it's under my feet. Ain't nobody gonna walk all over me.
Went down to Birmingham.
And I went down to Birmingham and I took back what they stole from me. And I took back my dignity. And I took back my humanity. And it's under my feet, it's under my feet, it's under my feet. Ain't nobody gonna walk all over me.
Went down to the police.
And I went down to the police, and I took back what they stole from me, and I took back my dignity, and I took back my humanity. It's under my feet, it's under my feet, it's under my feet. Ain't nobody gonna walk all over me. And I went down to the courthouse and I took back what they stole from me, and I took back my dignity, and I took back my humanity. And it's under my feet, 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 it's under my feet. It's under my my feet. Ain't nobody gonna walk all over me.
Do a little faster next time. I want to bring up. Pass it off to my brother Aaron. Representative from Indian Street.
As many of you know, a few weeks ago, in Linda McKinley, a young man was shot down, cold, dead, in the street by plainclothes officers. That young man had a name. That young man had a story. That young man had a family. His name was Henry Gray. And I am here to introduce the family that has to be in the class of people, black people in particular, who now have to discover what it's like to be in the lineages of Trayvon, of John, and all the many brothers and sisters who lost their lives. Behind me, I'm going to introduce first the lawyer.
Miss Adrian Hood, who was. I hear you. Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Next to me, I have Miss Adrian Hood, who is the mother of Henry Green V. And here is Henry's father, Henry Green IV. We have family and friends of Henry who have come out to support today. I just want to first tell you a little bit about, what happened for those who don't know. June 6, 2016, about a month ago, there were two plainclothes officers in an unmarked vehicle. Two plainclothes officers in an unmarked vehicle who were working in the community safety initiative sanctioned by the city. And so these plainclothes officers in an unmarked vehicle, the police account is that they witnessed Henry Green standing on the corner, 6:10 p.m. in his neighborhood, standing on the corner holding the gun. That's the police account. They say they stopped in front of him, got out of the vehicle, announced themselves as Columbus police officers, showed their badges, and at that point, Henry raised his gun and also yelled. All right. At that point, Henry raised his gun, pointed it at the officers, and decided to open fire. That's the police account. And what we found out in the days and the hours and days and weeks that have passed is that there are multiple witness accounts that directly conflict with the officer's account. Our issue is that the family of Henry has no answers right now from the city, from the police department. They have no answers about what happened to their son. There are serious issues that we have with this shooting. The fact that these are unmarked cars, plainclothes officers, and they want us to believe that Henry, who had no felony record, he had no warrants, he had no reason to not give himself up to police, and he decided to open fire on them rather than live to see another day. Henry was not suicidal. Henry was not a bad person. Henry had no reason to not comply with Columbus police officers' directions if he knew that they were Columbus police officers. And so the issue is that this has been passed off as a justified shooting without any real investigation. And so I'll briefly allow Adrian and Henry to talk about who Henry was, and then I'll read excerpts from a letter that we've sent to Mayor Ginther and to Chief Jacobs asking for very specific requests, things that are not out of the ordinary. There has been no response to that letter. We have continually asked for answers for the family. They deserve to know how many times Henry was shot. They deserve to know what Henry did to deserve this. He's not accused of committing a crime. If he was standing on the corner holding a gun, which witnesses say was not the case, if he was doing that, Ohio is open carry. That's not a crime. He's not accused of doing anything wrong, but here he is, buried in the ground with no answers for his family. So I'll allow Adrian to kind of talk about who Henry was and Henry at that point, and we'll go from there.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. First, I would like to thank all of y'all for coming out under these unfortunate circumstances. Harry was my son. He's my oldest boy. And he was a good boy. I think I'm still in shock that I'm even here. You just never expect as a parent to have to bury your child. And then under these circumstances, when I know, as my attorney said, witnesses have contradicted the police statement from beginning to end. We haven't gotten any responses from them. The day that my son got shot, we went to Grant Hospital. They did not let me see my son again. I did not see my son again until they had dressed him for his funeral. They wouldn't tell me how many times they shot my son. They have not responded to any letters of us asking any questions. I know that there's no video of the actual event, and I believe that that has a lot to do with his situation staying local. But for those of us that live here, this is going on in our backyard. And if we don't speak up, if we don't continue to put pressure on the powers that be to hold them accountable, this will continue to happen. You might think that it won't happen to you. I thought that same thing. I raised my children right. I raised them up in the Lord. I am in the military. I served this country. I served this country for over 20 years. And in my own neighborhood that I grew up in, those that say they are to protect and to serve took my son away. And they walked away like it was nothing. Still getting paid, probably back out on the beat because they only stay off for 3 to 7 days anyway. But we lost a son, a brother, a nephew, a friend, a cousin. He was something to everybody. And he would give you the shirt off of his back. And like my attorney said, even if, which I highly, highly doubt, he did have his gun out, we are an open carry state.
Yes, we are.
So what was he doing wrong for them to jump out and shoot my son down like a dog? No regard for human life at all. Broad daylight, no regard for human life. So I just ask y'all to continue to keep his story alive. Continue to share his story. Continue to put pressure on the powers that be. dangerous. We need to get them out of office. That's where our fight starts. We have to register to vote, and we need to get them out of office. Then they'll take us serious. I thank y'all for y'all's time. Please keep us in y'all's prayers. Please, please. I need it so much.
I know they tried to cancel this tonight, and I almost was glad. But then I was even gladder when they said it's going to happen. And the only Channel 4 News said that it was going to happen, even though it wasn't supposed to happen. Channel 6, Channel 10 used to be my friends. No longer are they my friends. I listen to the news and they talk about these police officers getting shot. Okay, 11, 12 of them got shot last night. 5 died. But how many of our people died over these years? It is justified. And all the news people can say, I never heard them say this about a citizen, that it was a tragedy. You know what I'm saying? But they said it was a tragedy because a police officer got killed. I'm not against all police. I know they all are not bad. But they don't talk about us like that because I don't know if the what they call it, the people that work in the news place, they can't say certain things, the media. But every time we say something, like right now, a lot of this stuff gonna be cut out that we talking about. All they might show me smiling. They might show a couple of y'all be like, oh, I was on the news. But guess what? What the hell does that mean? I want you to hear what I got to say. When Mayor Coleman was in, I helped over there on that Lincoln Theater, straight out of prison. Changed my life. He came through there and checked on it. When Mayor Coleman said he thought he wanted Gither to come in, I said that's gonna be a good man. But Gither will not even reach out to us. You know what I'm saying? That's a smack in the face to me. If Coleman watching this right now, I'm Henry Green, the only black man was over there working on the Lincoln Theater to get the damn community together. That's all y'all people talking about. Y'all taking our taxes. We working hard every day. Yeah. I'm a taxpayer. I pray on my knees every day. The day my son got killed, I got a new job. I'm a barber too. I was going to tell him like, hey, I might be able to work with me, son. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't get a chance to. Got a call from my daughter saying that they shot Bubby. That's what we call it. She named him Bubby. His name is Henry Green, but she called him Bubby because she couldn't say brother. So Bubby is his name. They shot by. I was like, who? She's like, the police. I was like, police? That would shock any of y'all to hear that the police shot your child. Maybe somebody out here, you know, we got drive-bys, stuff happen. I heard the police shot my child. I know that he would never stand up against the police because he don't have no reason to. My son don't have no charges against him. He ain't got no baby mama drama. He don't got no problems like that. You brought up on him, you're like, what's the problem? But if he didn't know who you were, then what would you do? All I want is the mayor to come and talk to us and get somebody to come over the police department because the police are trying to investigate themselves. They want us to give them any information we got, get it in, so they can just discredit it. And when they go to the grand jury, they can say it was justified. We need somebody to see over the whole thing so we can have justice. We just want a fair trial. We here on peace. You know what I'm saying? Right now. Because just think if it was your child. I don't care black, white, purple, whatever color you is. It don't matter. I know my son wasn't stupid. He had common sense. He would not have done that. His weapon was his weapon. think about that?
Tell you guys that since I've had the opportunity to meet Adrian and Henry a month ago, they are very powerful people. They are real people. That's why we wanted you guys to have an opportunity to meet them and to know who they are, because this is going on right here in Columbus, Ohio. You know, I mean, this is really happened because of all of the issues across the country, but it's important for us to know that we have real issues going on right here. And if it happens tomorrow, you won't have answers. You won't have accountability. Across the country, mayors are calling for the FBI to come in. City officials are calling for the FBI, the DOJ, you know, these different entities, because they want to have that trust and that transparency with the community. And those are buzzwords that Mayor Ginther and Zach Klein and others continue to use. We promise transparency and accountability and so on and so forth. But it's just lip service. I can tell you that, because we've made requests. We've been reasonable, very reasonable. You don't know much about this case because we're trying to be reasonable and allow them an opportunity to come out and let us know what happened. But they have ignored us. And, you know, now it's time for us to take next steps and turn up. So what I'll do is I'll Mayor Ginther and Chief Jacobs on June 29th. We asked for a response within 7 days. 7 days passed, no response. I had to continue to call City Hall repeatedly over the last 2 days. We finally got a response. So I'll read our letter, bits of it, and their response. Our letter's 4 pages, their response is 3 paragraphs. And so the letter reads as follows. You are likely aware of the facts surrounding the incident in which your officer shot and killed 23-year-old Henry. You're also likely aware of the outcry from the community surrounding the circumstances of this officer-involved shooting. While there have been many different statements conveyed in the media following this incident, we would like to clearly communicate our concerns and our requests directly to you. In the moments following Henry's shooting, Columbus Police Sergeant Rich Weiner went on record that 2 officers were working undercover in the Linden area for the Community Safety Initiative and were on patrol in an unmarked vehicle at about 6:10 p.m. He stated that the officers came across 2 people, one armed with a gun. He is quoted as saying, "He's holding that gun." They get out, they identify themselves as officers. They had their badges. They're clearly police officers. They tell the one suspect to drop the gun. He does not, and points it at them and starts shooting at the officers. He stated that the officers returned fire, striking the suspect multiple times. Later that night at 10:25 p.m., the Columbus Division of Police posted an official statement on its Facebook page, listing the same account of the facts as Sergeant Weiner, but stating that the investigation continues. This statement was released to the media without investigation of its validity. Moreover, releasing this statement lacked respect or empathy for the family of Henry Green. The rush to give an official account of the facts of this shooting without conducting a proper investigation is extremely concerning to our clients and to the residents of the Linden area community. It is troubling that within a few minutes of the shooting, the Columbus Division of Police relay an official accounting of the facts and circumstances of this investigation. This is particularly surprising, knowing that not only had all of the potential witnesses not being questioned at the time of this official account from police, there are witnesses who have been questioned by police who directly contradicted the official police account of the facts. The existence of these witnesses was not relayed in the official police account. The police did not ask the public for any information they may have regarding the shooting. They stated in no uncertain terms this shooting was justified before conducting a proper investigation. That is disheartening, to say the least. We find it unconscionable that the Columbus Division of Police put forth an official narrative that reflects a conclusive finding the investigation is allegedly still ongoing. This calls into question the ability of the department to conduct an unbiased investigation. The fact that witness accounts were suppressed calls into account whether witness accounts that counter the police narrative were to be disregarded. This leads the family to believe that an independent investigation is necessary for transparency. In the hours after the shooting incident, there was an outcry from the community regarding the circumstances of this incident. Without knowing specifically who raised these concerns, without listening to or addressing these concerns, Sergeant Weiner offered that the outcry was simply made up of a, quote, small percentage of people that know this individual. He went on to state, ask some of the other people that live in this community, ask them if they feel safe tonight. I hope they do, because officers are out here trying to do their job. This exhibits a complete disregard for the potential that there may have been questions coming from independent sources, people who did not know Henry but questioned whether this shooting was justified. It diminished the credibility of their concerns, as if the small percentage of people who knew Henry had no standing to question the shooting. It dismissed whoever may have had questions as if it was insulting to question this incident. It also again provided a conclusive assessment. The community was safer thanks to the officers who did their job and shot and killed Henry Green. If this was a truly independent and unbiased investigation, it would be investigated as all criminal investigations are. Instead, Henry was named the suspect in this incident. Official police statements that same night concluded that Henry opened fire. Officers were justified in their killing of Henry Green. Despite these prejudicial statements and actions by Sergeant Weiner and the department, our hope is that a fair and unbiased investigation may still be salvaged by involving outside authorities to lead the investigation from this point. I'll skip down to our requests that were made directly to both Chief Jacobs and Mayor Ginther. We requested that the City of Columbus, led by Mayor Ginther, remove the Columbus Division of Police from all involvement in the investigations of the killing of Henry Green, and we request that the City of Columbus call on the Bureau of Criminal Investigation for the FBI to lead the investigation. The City of Columbus, led by Mayor Andrew Ginther, ensure the Department of Public Safety and Division of Police release information to the family regarding the circumstances of Henry's death, including how many times Henry was shot, where he was shot, how many shots were fired, and which shots may have killed Henry. That the City of Columbus, led by Mayor Andrew Ginther, ensure that the Department of Public Safety, Division of Police released information related to the number of witnesses to corroborate the officer's version of events. That night, they stated they had one witness who backed up the officer's story. And later said they had one witness who corroborated the officer's general outline of events. However, this prejudicial statement provided no clarity to the family or the public as to whether any other witnesses exist that contradict the officer's general outline of events. That the City of Columbus, led by Mayor Ginther, issue an apology to the family of Henry Green for this premature rush to judgment in this shooting without providing time for a thorough investigation. And that the City of Columbus, led by Mayor Andrew Ginther, request that a special prosecutor be appointed to oversee the decision on whether to criminally indict the officers involved. And with that said, we asked for a response within 7 days of that June 29th letter. 7 days passed, no response. Just today at 4 o'clock, after repeatedly calling and asking, is a response coming? We got a response from Public Safety Director George Speaks. The response was 3 paragraphs. It did not acknowledge, reference, or mention our request whatsoever. It instead told us what the police investigative process is for police-involved shootings, as if we don't know. We know exactly what that process is. We question that process. We know that there are other witnesses out there. We've spoken to them. We know that this is not a shooting that will end up looking justified unless the police are allowed to continue present that secretive investigation to the secret grand jury led by County Prosecutor Ron O'Brien, who has to have a solid working relationship with officers. And he's not going to push for an indictment. He's not. He never has. He can recommend whether a jury indict or not. Does it in theft cases? Does it in cases where the community is affected? That does not happen in police-involved shootings. Throughout the country, city leadership has stepped up and brought in outside sources to conduct investigations and to ensure transparency and accountability. We're asking the city, we're asking the prosecutor's office, we're asking everybody to step aside and to give us answers. There's no reason whatsoever that Henry and Adrian should have had to bury Henry without knowing how many times he was shot, where he was shot. That's just disrespectful. And the lack of response by the city is a slap in the face. And I can tell you that this family is upset, and we're just asking you to consider this local case and to push the city for accountability, because it can happen to any of us. It can happen tomorrow. The same thing will play out. Now, and with this, I know that this will happen again because I actually just left the hospital, the Grand Hospital. There was a police-involved shooting on July 4th. police were called out on a report of a domestic violence incident. And they showed up. The gentleman had a bat. They shot it 3 times. They thought the bat was a gun. Since Monday at 2:30 a.m., he rushed to Grant Hospital. He's been in the hospital all week. The first time he saw somebody from the outside world was at 5:30 when I went up there. He has had no access to a telephone, a TV. His family can't see him. They can't speak to him. No lawyer, nothing. They wouldn't let me see him today. I snuck in. I went in and I asked security. I asked security where he was. They had no information for me. He wasn't on the ledger. He's not listed on the hospital ledger. Nobody can find him. What's the information desk? No help. Pointed me to security. Security said they would check into it. A guard came out and told me that they had no information. I had to contact the Columbus Police Department, set up a meeting in order to see him. 5 days in the hospital, no access to the outside world. They wanted me to wait until Monday and hopefully get a response, which we know isn't coming. And knowing that the response wasn't coming, I walked upstairs to the trauma floors. I found a nice housekeeper. I asked her where the guy with the 24/7 security detail was. And she pointed me in that direction. I turned around and 2 guards were out of breath because they saw me walking around the hospital on the camera, and they found me. And they said, "Oh, you want your guy? We'll take you there." 20 minutes before, they had no idea where he was. When I found him, things were on the up and up, and they took me back downstairs, went through the metal detector, had to clear everything for me to go back up. I asked for a business card. I went up there, 2 officers stationed outside his room. They asked me for my ID, my bar card, and a business card. And then they patted me down, checked my bags. I mean, it's ridiculous. He's being held in there until he recovers. And once he recovers, he's being taken down for receiving stolen property. I'm not sure if this is Guantanamo Bay, or this is some kind of terrorist incident.
It is.
But the fact remains that nobody knows about this. I didn't know about it. Nobody knows about it because that official narrative came out. And again, Sergeant Weiner said that it's justified. We have questions about why they didn't tase him. And beyond that, whether it's a good shooting or not, the civil rights violations of him not having access to his family, a lawyer, a telephone, a TV. Beyond that, officers have been interacting with him throughout the week. He went over to Justin Bandage. Well, actually, he rolled over because he can't walk right now. And the officer laughed at him. These are real things that happen. There's a lot more to talk about. I have a lot more, but I won't take up any more time, maybe later. But again, demand accountability from city officials because what they're used to is people not doing that. Put out these statements and they know that nobody's going to question it because they frame these official statements to make us think that it's justified. They want us to believe that Henry opened fire on these officers instead of complying. And it doesn't add up. So we appreciate your time. If you have any questions about this shooting whatsoever, feel free to ask us, or more importantly, ask the city. Thank you.
You just heard the reality that happens to African people in this city today. And they told you that arm of the state. They just told you that City Hall doesn't care about black people.
Right.
So the question I pose to you is, what are you willing to do? Do you want to fight for liberation? Do you want to take it to the streets?
Let's go.
Do you want to fight for justice for Henry Green?
How about
Yeah.
fuck
Always make things happen. We gotta stand up. We gotta put our right fist up and fight because we will win. I guarantee you. Throughout history, since time immemorial, the people stood up and walked from Nat Turner to Udoma Bafudio all the way to current history. But we gotta be willing to do it. My sister is right here. that we dropped off with the same list of demands my brother just talked about. You want to get down with the get down? You ain't scared? Sign that freaking petition. Woo! Now I want everybody, please. I want everybody, put that right hand out. What do you see in front of your face?
5 fingers.
5 fingers. And what are those fingers doing? They're separated, right? They're not together. But once you put those 5 digits together, what do you see right there? A fist. You see power, transformation, miracle. I want it. I need it. Gotta have it. Put those right fists up and things happen. See that? It's beautiful. And when everybody, from the depth of your soul, from all the pain, from all the anguish you feel in this freaking country, I want you to repeat after me. I am somebody. And I deserve full quality. Right here. Right now. I am somebody. I deserve full quality. Right here. Right now. All power. To the people. All power. To the people.
Alright, can y'all hear me? Yes. Alright, my name is Sarah Mammo. I'm a student at Ohio State. I'm a member of the International Socialist Organization. I organize with the OSU Coalition for Black Liberation, and I organize with Still We Rise, a Black feminist organization on campus. This world is burning. This world is on fire, and there is a war in America being waged against Black bodies. Doesn't only happen here, though. In June, at a club called Pulse in Orlando, queer people of color were killed. 49. Later, earlier in July, in Baghdad, in other cities in the Middle East, in the U.S. recently, there have been over 120 people of color killed. That ain't right.
No, it ain't.
What happened to Alton Sterling, Lando Castillo, Henry Green, Sandra Bland, Tamir Rice, Michael Brown, Christina Boyd, John Crawford, and the list goes on. What happened to those people in the U.S. has been happening across the globe. But first off, I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. I know everyone has commitments, work, family, whatnot, but it's important that we all came here together in the light of recent events, the murdering of Alton Sterling and Philando Castile by the police, and it's important that we come together and unify in the wake of these events. But that's not to say that we shouldn't come together and unify every time a Black person is killed by the police in America. That's not to say that every time that someone is killed by bombs dropped overseas that we shouldn't unify together against that. That's not to say that every time there is violence directed and targeted toward Muslims here and abroad that we should not come together and unify. That's not to say that when 49 LGBT people of color are killed and directly targeted that we don't unify against what we know is a hate crime. That's not to say we shouldn't come together and unify against injustice in the name of justice, because the It's of utmost importance that we connect police brutality with the murders of Alton Sterling and Philando Castile, with the pulse shootings, with what's happening in the Middle East. Within our borders, we know that the police do not protect and serve us. Their job is to protect and serve the ruling elite from us by keeping us in check. And here, keeping us in check means brutalizing us, means murdering us. It means non-indictments. It means acquittals. It means tampered evidence.
Terrorism. Terrorism. Fuck white terrorism.
Outside of our borders, the U.S. is a global police force. It is not afraid to do to other countries what it does here within our own borders.
Right.
In the interest of keeping the U.S. a global economic power, our government has created the conditions for the existence of extremist groups in the Middle East in their interest that murder innocent people abroad. Our blood is on the U.S.'s hands. Blood from the Middle East is on the U.S.'s hands. It's important to remember whose hands are dirty here, and it's the U.S.'s. The U.S. gets a good portion of its money from exploiting the Middle East for oil and other resources. If the purpose of police here is to protect the ruling elite, is to protect their wealth and their money, then we have to realize that the major part of our country's wealth comes from those countries in the Middle East. The last thing the U.S. wants is for the exploited masses of the world to come together and unite against them. If we want police executions to stop here, we have to stop the executions that the U.S. directly oversees abroad.
Yes.
Knowing this, it's clear that the only way that we will win is if it's together. Thank you. All right. Can you hear me? Oh, in the box. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. No justice.
No peace.
No racist.
Police.
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 All right, my name is Jocelyn Bynes. I'm also an OSU student, and I work in medicine here in Columbus. And I wanted to start off by sharing a personal story. I've been a part of U.S. Ferguson for a little while now, helping with advocacy and helping organize certain events in solidarity with Black Lives Matter. And nothing had happened to me that struck me personally yet. But I found out something recently that happened to somebody very close to me. She was harassed physically and sexually by the police here in Columbus. It happened some time ago, but it still resonates with her today, and she's traumatized by it. Where she was at home, and the police burst in. I think they got a call about her or something. She had been suffering under depression, and she was cutting herself, but she had the knife down and she had her hands up. So basically the call was for help because she wasn't doing anything wrong. But the police burst in and they slammed her down. One of the officers dragged her by her hair throughout her apartment, and then they started taking off her clothes, and she was completely naked in front of her neighbors. And they started going through all her things and laughing at her. And they were there for a while, and she was just screaming for help because they came there to help, but that's not actually what they were doing. So she ended up putting her clothes back on. She was traumatized, shaking and screaming and crying, and they left. And that's all they did. They just came and destroyed, and then they left. And obviously, like, I'm not a Black person, I'm Latina, but this is something I want to address too. There's been killings going on, and it's racist violence. It's against Black people. But for all the other people of color in the communities, Latino people, Asian, these are our brothers and sisters. These are our cousins. So we can't just wait until one of ours gets killed. You know what I mean? You can't just wait until something personally happens to you. And we have been seeing that of Latino people getting killed and murdered, and just all this racial tension that has been going on in general. But how long is it going to take for you to want to take action and step out of your personal comfort zone and want to do something about it? You know? Because you can say all you want, but it's not, it is a reality. It can happen to you next. And we don't see it like that because we see it happening everywhere. But we can see from Henry Green and the other stories that are happening now. And my story, even here, this happened in Columbus, that this is real, this is now, this is happening to us now, all of us. It's not just some of us in Dallas or whatever, it's everywhere. And somebody told me recently, because I'm a public speaker and I speak about domestic abuse and abusive relationships, but somebody told me, who was counseling me, they told me, you know, people who abuse other people, abusers, who are manipulative and cause the violence and inflict violence on victims. The people who do that are the ones who feel threatened. And the reason they do that is because you have the power over them. So I really want you to think about that for a second. Hey, I just saw somebody I haven't seen in a really long time. I'm so glad you're here. So I want you to think about that you have the power over the situation. The reason that they're abusing you, abusing us, is because you have the power over them. You have more power than they do. They're tricking you. They're playing you into thinking that you don't, but you really do. This is our time. We are the future. You know, you hear people say that all the time. But, you know, I'm going to be honest. Older people, they'll say that to you, but then they want to control you and say what you should and shouldn't do. But we were left with financial debt, a struggling economy, racial violence, and tension. We're left with all these things. So unless they want to clean all of that up, then, you know, you can say something. But we have to do something about it. This is what we're left with, so we have to clean this up for future generations. And this also means stepping out, and I'm so glad to see that everybody's here right now. There's so come together, and we're gonna have so many more events coming up and everything. But it takes a lot more than just reading about it and spreading the word. We have to actually create action, do something about it. So, and this newer generation, you know, you're taught like social media is for everything, and it's a powerful tool. But you can't just sit behind your phone and your desk all the time and just make posts on that, you know, about what's going on. Because what's the point of you know if you're still in bed, you know? So that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for coming out. Can you guys hear me?
Louder.
What about now?
Yeah.
I'm Justice Harley. I go to OSU. I'm about to be a sophomore. I organize with OSU Coalition for Black Liberation and Still We Rise, the Black feminist organization, just like Sarah. And right now, I kind of want to touch on the response to the deaths of the police who were shot yesterday and this morning. I'm seeing a lot of people becoming
discouraged and fearful of critiquing police brutality and like being against police. And I just want to push back on that because now is not the time to stop fighting police brutality. While yes, it is a tragedy that the families of those police officers have to feel the pain and the mourning and the loss that Black people have been feeling for decades at the hands of officers like those, we have to continue to push for system change and to dismantle the police system and the criminal justice system and the systems that control those and profit off of Black bodies and filling jail cells with Black women and men and gender nonconforming individuals. And fill the prisons with other people of color and profit off of our free labor inside of those prisons. Right? So yes, those are tragedies, but that's nothing unfamiliar to our communities. We have been experiencing these tragedies for decades, and they have gotten nothing but worse. Nothing has changed, and police do not protect and serve. They are badged and armed and paid murderers. They get paid to patrol our communities like they are hunting grounds because that's what they are to them. And we have to fight to dismantle those systems and create community-controlled alternatives to the police so that we can actually work to keep our communities safe because they do not. That's pretty much all I wanted to say for real. After this, if you want to speak, just gather over here and talk to someone with the yellow armband, or you can talk to James. I don't know where he went. Yeah, James over there waving his yellow flag. If you want to talk next after me, just gather right over here. All right.
Hi, thank you for your time and for coming out this evening. Your time and your attention to this matter is important. I appreciate it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Awesome. Are there any cops here? Are there any police officers? Well, I'll be the first to say I thank the police officers for their service. No cops are bad cops. I own and operate a center in North Columbus called the Dharma House. I work to empower people every day. A few weeks ago, I was an offender bender in a parking lot, in a Kroger parking lot. I had a police officer show up on the scene. I had my 3-year-old son with me. And I reached for my driver's license and he reached for his gun. This happened to me right here in Columbus, Ohio a few weeks ago. I feel like it's important to speak out on this matter because it's so complex. It's so bigger than everything that we can try to compile in an evening or in a day. Let's be serious about this. This movement about what's happening to Black America is important to everybody, but it's no different than women. What woman out here doesn't feel like she hasn't been empowered or disempowered by the system? Let's be honest about it. There are several sects and several people, and the answer to this problem is a really, really huge thing. I mean, you think about the cancer that slavery has caused. My thought is maybe this is a little bit of the byproduct of that, but it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to get solved overnight. What we can do, we can be responsible for our individual actions. You can choose today to look at the person to your left and to your right and hold them as an equal. To be the first person to be patient, to be kind, to operate in love, in peace. You want peace in your streets? Create peace in your heart. There's no doubt that things need to be done, things need to change, but we change it by being the source of what we want to see happen. Thank you.
Okay, so I forgot to mention the timeline is 3.5 minutes. Jocelyn, the person who just spoke before me, with an afro, and she'll let you know when you're getting close to time, okay?
Hello?
Hi.
Hello? You guys hear me?
Barely.
Barely. What's the button on the side? That helps. Thanks. Okay, so what's on my heart is, excuse me, I'm just gonna speak from my heart. What happened in Dallas? All I can think of is I pray that the man had a conversation with God, because it wouldn't be worth it. It's not worth it. We have to forgive. And I know that there is no fear in love. We have to love our way out of it. Like this what's going on is so much bigger than me. Like, you will die out here. But I have a choice to love. I have a choice to forgive. I choose from my heart not to be wicked. I choose to protect my heart and continue to love. Everywhere I go, I love. I have to demonstrate love. That's my demonstration. This is so much bigger than us. I mean, it's just me. I'm just one person. But I know that if I'm free, then I can spread that. Through freedom, I'm free. Yeah, they can send me to jail. They can kill me. They can do whatever they want. I almost died out here. For real, for real. If I'm going to keep it real, this world ain't out here for us. It wants to kill us. We have to choose good. I mean, there's so much going on. I mean, my own testimony. I was led into all kinds of things because I didn't know who I was. There has to be a point where you have to take back your humanity. Like the song that we sang earlier. You got to take back your humanity. You got to fight against it through love. I mean, love conquers all. Love will never fail, and there is no fear in love. I mean, this is all terrorism, like you say. Like, this is all has to be fear. But in love, there is no fear. That's guaranteed. The only thing that's guaranteed is death. So before that death comes, we need to make a change. For real. I mean, we have today. We have right now. And you know what? God is God of now. He can do this. Okay? Who are we? Who am I? I am nothing. I am nothing. We have to come to the place to realize we're nothing. And that we cannot do this without his help. He doesn't allow anything to happen if it's not meant to happen. He doesn't give us more than we can handle. Just pray. And he's going to do it. He's been doing it forever. He is faithful. It's love. It's just about love. He is love. Thank you.
Yes, they do.
All right, can you hear me? All right, so I'm glad that she said Black Dollars Matter because that's why I'm standing up here. My name is Karina Turner. I'm a school psychologist with Columbus City Schools. So I am not a business person. I am nobody who has any experience with this, but I think that if they don't value our lives, then they shouldn't want our dollars. So I'm asking that everybody pick a festival, because it's festival season in Columbus, right? Everybody pick a festival to boycott.
Yeah.
They don't deserve our dollars if they can't defend our lives. They just don't. I want to boycott the fair. Boycott the fair. You want to boycott the Jazz and Rib Fest? Boycott the Jazz and Rib Fest. They will not pay attention to us unless we hit them where they hurt. And since we are not important, our dollars are, we will take our dollars from them and then we will take our lives back. Thank you.
Just a reminder, make sure you guys are looking at Sarah right here with the afro and the yellow bar band. Okay. She'll tell you when your time is going to be up.
Hi. My name is Jared Mello. Louder? Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been an activist for a long time. Now I'm mostly a reporter. I cover human rights. And I shouldn't be in the story. This is a story. But I'm pissed off.
Right. Me too. Woo! Me too.
But I'm pissed off. Yesterday morning, I got out of bed and I started editing video. Editing video means watching video over and over and over and over again. I watched 2 people die at least 10 times each before I had my second cup of coffee yesterday. I deeply investigate and I know things. A lot of horrible things. People are dying faster than I can type. Unjust laws were passed yesterday to further protect police. The ink dried faster than the blood. That's not an exaggeration. I deal in facts. In the course of my activism, friends of mine have been killed by police. The first was in 1992. I was 19. It keeps going. The last one was 3 years ago, while I was at my grandmother's funeral. I investigated his death. The cops tried to hide the number of shots that were fired. I had to cook down the audio and listen to it over and over and over again. I have a horrible joke. What's the worst thing about being a human rights reporter? Guaranteed job security. This is what I want for myself. Maybe you all can help me. Make me unemployed. I'd rather write comedy. Thanks.
Yes.
All right. Okay, there we go. Hello, everybody. Thank you for showing up here. I definitely love seeing people coming back out here, making a stand. My name is Torrin Jacobs, and last year, I was also working on this issue of getting our police department under control. So what I worked on last year was trying to build a civilian review board, which is having civilian oversight, regular people like you and me watching over the police. We created, thank you. Spent a lot of hours crafting documents, going over the rules and laws of police, come up with a comprehensive solution. So I want to let you know that there are people you may not see in the news every day, but we're out here working to try to make this thing happen. The problem is the system doesn't want it. We got a corrupt city council, we got a political machine that refuses all change. We talk to these people, they say one thing, they change their mind, they'll do another. For this thing to pass, for us to get the police to change, we have to mobilize ourselves and to not let this movement die down. Bother them as much as possible. Get involved with the organization. A lot of people that you see speak here tonight, they're involved with the organization. Get involved with them. There's so many solutions. People say voting is this, getting rid of that person will solve this. Let me tell you, we need all the above. It's not just one person. Someone touched on a couple of other things. So in August, we got an election to break up the city into wards. Why that is important is because our city council is a machine that doesn't let regular people win office on city council. City council controls who gets on dealing with the safety director and things like that. So if we are on city council, if we're controlling city council, we can put our sway in getting us a VIN review board, selecting a proper chief who's actually going to listen to the people and not deflect our concerns. So the solutions, yes, I want you guys to go out there and definitely vote in August. You got people up here organizing every day in the streets. Organize with them. Our group, you can contact me as well to see what we're doing to bring up this VIN review board. But basically, don't give up. And if it's not going to happen tomorrow, you still can't give up. Find one of us, stay engaged, and keep bothering these people. I got letters over there that we're delivering to the chief. If you want copies of the letters, take one, get as many people to sign it, make copies of it, and get your friends to sign it. I want to get 1,000 of these letters directly to the chief's office. So you can talk to me about that. So if you talk to me personally, I'm all about solutions. And that's what I love doing. That's what I love hearing about is solving these problems. And there's a lot of us out here trying to do it. So please, talk to somebody, get involved. Don't let this die down. I don't want to see you back here in 7 months when another shooting happens. I want to see the same people changing the system right now, staying with you. All right? Can you promise that?
On the note of keeping this going, next to Jocelyn is there's a notebook that you can put your contact information on if you want to be a part of one of the groups that keeps organizing in Columbus. So just talk to them about what we can connect you to. And there should be a meeting coming up soon this Sunday after this action to discuss further action and what the community wants to see. You guys hear me? Yeah. Okay, good. So I'm going to try to use my 3 minutes wisely here before they bring out the violin. So there's 3 things. There's an emotional aspect to me being out here. I was really scared today. I was very angry, and I was very embarrassed, ashamed, just a myriad of emotions. I was scared to bring my 5-month-old out here with me and my 7-year-old because I wasn't sure if something was going to happen, just in the light of all that happened last night and times before. My 7-year-old is back there, and she looks up at me and she says, "Mommy, is that true?" I said, "What's true?" And she said, "Did that lady really lose her son?" And I said, "Yes, that is true." And she said, "Mom, y'all want to go something to me." She's 7. That's not something that she should be concerned about at 7 years old. It's not something she should be concerned about. So that's the emotional side. So then as I sit here and I look at all of us banded together and looking for a way to move forward and what are some things that we can do as a group. I think coming together and getting things off our chest is great. But when we start talking about Black Dollars Matter and resources and all of that, I want us to think about, let me go back. I want us to think about two things. The second thing is we need to control our narrative. Listening to CNN today, they showed the guy with the dashiki. They talked about the Afrocentric school here, and they also talked about Black Lives Matter as if it was a terrorist group. And I was disturbed. I'm like, that's not what this group is about. And this is my first time coming to one of these events, but I didn't have to be here to understand what we mean by Black Lives Matter. We shouldn't have that. The last thing, we need to think about resources. That's the only thing that matters. We need to think about those who have access to resources. Equality is fine, kumbaya is fine, loving one another is fine, but at the end of the day, we need to understand who controls the resources, and we need to take our little group or our huge group there to try to make them understand that we're here, and we're not going to allow them to continue to take our money, to get federal dollars, the so-called help us, with childcare, with workforce development, and affordable housing. Those are things that happen right here. And we think about it in terms of nonprofit. Nonprofit is not nonprofit. They are making a profit.
One of it. So much.
Black power. Black power. All power to the people. All power to the people. The Black Panther Party is finally here. Black Panther Party. What can I say? Observing, watching, listening, feeling, and also being proactive. I want to say this to the family. Our hearts go out to you. Because this is nothing new to Black people in America since 400 years. Yeah. Am I right? Yeah. And I want to say this to y'all, new activists. I really appreciate y'all because I appreciate the Black Lives Matter movement. I appreciate the Occupy movement. I appreciate the liberation movement and the young educators. Y'all are the future. I want to say that to y'all. Y'all are the future. Now, you want to know how y'all can take this system over. Y'all want to know that? Okay. All right, I'm going to tell y'all. One, if you have empathy and you feel the pain and suffering of African Americans and all oppressed people across the globe, then you should put yourself in a position of power.
Yes.
Listen to what I'm saying clearly. Put yourself in a position of power.
Woo!
Put yourself in a judge position so you can give fair and equitable judgment. Am I right?
Woo!
Put yourself in an educator's position where you can teach corrective knowledge and corrective education and true history. Am I right? Put yourself on the police force. Oh, I heard you say that. I heard you say that. To bring forth fair and equitable justice, to bring the rogue, neo-Nazi, racist, Aryan cops to justice. And you got some Negro cops too. Let's deal with it. We got Negro cops too, right? And we got racist cops. We got self-hate cops. We got cops that just want to abuse their power, take over communities, and cause chaos. Not true unity. It's not true unity. Black Panther Party for self-defense. Let me say that right. The Black Panther Party for self-defense is not a black terrorist organization. We are not a gang organization, so to speak. We are an African black liberation movement. That's what we are. We are not a racist organization. We are for black self-development and black self-sufficiency. You understand what that means? So I want to clear up some myths. Because Black Lives Matter, y'all going through the same struggle we went through 50 years ago. Y'all are going through the same struggle and going to have to make the same sacrifices that the Black Panther Party has done and is continuing to do. So, if y'all going to be about this truth and hold accountability to a system that seems to be corrupted, then you got to put yourself in a position of power and be righteous with it. I'm not trying to preach. I'm just trying to teach. Be righteous in your code of conduct. Be righteous and ethical in your behavior. Be true to your neighbor. I'm about to wind this up. And I want to say this, and last but not least, I love all my people. I love my black family. I love my brown Latino family. I love my Polynesian family. I love my Napoleon family. I love the human family. But most of all, I love my black family because we struggled in the wilderness of North America for well over 400 years. Free labor. You give somebody free labor, 10 slaves, free labor for you for the rest of your life and see how rich you'll be. This country was built off the backs of poor African black people. And I'll be there. We lay down and continue to let the onslaught of slaughter come into our community. Now listen up. I'm not going to be long, but I got to be strong like the Honorable Dr. Khalid Muhammad said. We are here to help organize. We are here to lend an ear. We are here as advisors. But at the same time, we are here to be defenders of our people. So, if you want true change, you got to be willing to sacrifice and defend what is true, which is just, and which is right. You hear me? Woo! Love y'all. All power to the bigger. Black power.
That's right. That's why they feeding it to you. That's right. Okay. That's why the president's feeding it to you. It's GMO. That's right. I'm gonna keep it all the way real out here. My people out here dying. Every goddamn day. Now y'all done heard the cuss words. Sure, Hotep. Who know about Hotep? Hotep means peace. Okay? Hotep means peace. My ancestors said, all right? Haru. That's me. I'm tied. Hit Haru. Okay? The sun God's daughter. Okay? That's me. I am a child of the sun. Okay? Don't let them be out here fooling y'all. All right, my people? We gotta wake up. Start eating fruits and vegetables. We don't eat meat. Our people not made. We not built to eat that shit. We don't eat that. We from the ground. We from the trees. The white man ain't gonna tell you that. But I'm out here to tell you. Because y'all my people. You know, they can kill this body, but
but they can't kill my energy. But most of y'all done see me day glaze. Most of y'all see me glaze. This our stuff, okay? This pyramid, okay? Y'all see that? This the iron high roof. They use our stuff. It's on everything. Everything. Everything you see, everything you touch. You come from your mother. We're looking for a God, a Jesus, an Allah. It ain't real. They made it all up.
Talk from my heart right now. I am a mother of 2 little black boys. I have 3 black brothers, a father, uncles that I am fearful of for this future. I am afraid that I might not see my brothers tomorrow. I am fearful of what might happen to my sons 10, 15 years from now because of what I see going on today. I am tired of the new hashtags with new names. I am tired of the killings that are going on from people being unarmed by police officers that are supposed to protect us. I am tired of social media being a place where we find comfort. This is not right. You see, the Montgomery boycott worked because this country is dictated by money. Who has the money is the one who has the power. Collectively, we have the power because we have the money. We cannot rely on celebrities or our government officials to fix things for us because that is not going to happen. This government is run by money. The lobbyists are the ones who have the money. They present the money to our government officials and they make the laws, they make the rules that we in turn have to follow. I was once told by a judge a couple months ago that this system is a pay-to-play system. If you want to play, you need to pay. We need to be prepared to pay, which means we need to do an economic, systematic shutdown. Yeah. And I don't mean a day, because that's ineffective. We stop shopping tomorrow, then we double down the next day. I don't mean a week. I mean, we need to systematically choose stores and organizations to stop shopping at Walmart, to show Target that if they will not be with us, we will shut them down too. Stop shopping at Myers and shop at Kroger's to show them that if they will not support us, we can do the same to them. Right. Woo! We need to pick a grocery store, a bank, clothing stores that we will support and show the rest of them that we can take their money away and cripple their economy. We want our voices to matter, then we have to show them. We show them by hitting their pockets. Woo! And I agree with the one sister said when she said, stop going to the fair. We need to all pick one fair. That's the way we show our power. If we all don't show up at the Ohio State Fair,
Man, tell them. They ain't doing nothing.
if we all don't shop at Myers anymore,
ain't no more Myers.
One store, and we all shop at Kroger's or stop shopping at Giant Eagle, if we all stop shopping at Walmart,
We grow our own food.
thank you.
Woo!
Woo!
Make our own store. So that way they can quit poisoning us. No, it ain't organic.
My name is